come to order. Please rise for Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Pledge allegiance. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Erby? Here. Councilmember Page?
Here.
Councilmember Wassinger?
Here.
Councilmember O'Meara?
Here.
Councilmember Dolan?
Here.
Councilmember O'Leary?
Here.
Councilmember Harder?
Here.
Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you.
Move for the approval of journal meeting of October 6, 2015.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. The journal is approved. We have no bid openings this evening, so we will move to communications.
Mr. Chair, there are no tax compromises this evening, so we'll move to zoning matters. Under zoning matters, item number 1, 7th District.
Receive and file.
So ordered.
Item number 2, 4th District.
Receive and file.
So ordered.
Item number 3, 3rd District.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Item number 4, 7th District.
Receive, file, and the matter be referred to the Public Improvements Committee for a public hearing to be scheduled in accordance with St. Louis County zoning ordinance.
So ordered.
Item number 5, 6th District.
Hold on the order of business.
So ordered.
Mr. Chair, we have nothing under road and bridge matters, so we'll move to other communications. Under other communications, item number 1.
Receive and file, and that will be the order.
Item number 2.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and that will be the order.
Item number 3, 1st District.
Same motion.
So ordered.
Item number 4, 3rd District.
Receive, file, and the agreement be approved as recommended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
Item number 5, 3rd District.
Receive, file, and hold on the order of business.
So ordered.
Item number 6, 4th District.
Hold, please.
So ordered.
Item number 7, 6th District.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation. Same for 8.
So ordered.
Item number 9, 3rd District.
Same motion.
So ordered.
Item number 10.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and that will be the order.
Item number 11, 4th District.
Receive and file for 11.
So ordered.
Item number 12.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation. Same motion for item number 13.
So ordered.
Item number 14.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and that will be the order.
Item number 15, 6th District.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Item number 16.
Receive, file, and the appointment be approved as requested.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Please read the add-ons.
Yes, sir. Item number 1, 2nd District.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Item number 2, 4th and 5th Districts.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered. For the county executive.
Nothing additional to report.
Thank you. There are no reports of special committees this evening, so we will move to public forum. As your name is called, if you please step forward, state your name and address, and please keep your comments to 3 minutes or less.
We have 17 speakers this evening, Mr. Chair. The first speaker is Dan Hyatt. He will be followed by Tony Fusosa.
Council members, my name is Dan Hyatt. My address is 2817 Fifi Road, Maryland Heights, Missouri, 63043. I'm here to speak to you on the landlord licensing. The I believe it not only conflicts with numerous state and federal laws, particularly fair housing laws, civil rights laws, and eminent domain concerning fair use of the property. I think it's very bad for St. Louis, and it's draconian in its nature. It's bad for the renters. It's bad for the potential landlords. I can't figure out who it could possibly benefit. If it was much lighter and required much greater problems to trigger it, that would be fine. But $1,000 a day fine because somebody gave her son alcohol and you're not quick enough to evict them? That's a lot, to give your minor son alcohol. It's a crime to do other petty things that would be covered under this, which is going to lead to capricious enforcement of this. I've heard the left and I've heard the right oppose this. The tenant groups and the landlords both oppose it. So I don't know what the hidden agenda is running this, but I strongly, strongly urge you to send this back to the drawing board, actually oppose it, because what we need to do is we need to encourage small landlords to buy the decrepit houses, to buy the vacant houses, fix them up, and solve some of the housing crisis. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Sir,
Could we clarify that?
go ahead. Yeah, thank you. I'm just going to have the county councilor clarify a couple things before we get going too far here. As far as the nuisance violations and this misdemeanors, all these things were taken out of this bill, so I don't know what bill you're reading, but.
There's no provision for eviction, and there hasn't been for 2 iterations for public nuisance violations. That was never an opportunity for eviction and never a mandate for eviction.
How about the parent providing a minor with alcohol? Is that?
No, it's
Can
not.
that result in eviction?
No, it cannot.
In the copy that I was just received,
It says in there that,
sale, distribution, illegal sale or distribution of alcohol.
It has to be a felony, and the felony has to occur on the property, and the felony has to occur on the property during the tenancy. And the only person evicted under this ordinance would be the occupant who committed the felony and has been convicted of that felony.
Minor to alcohol is not a felony.
so misdemeanors are taken out.
That's correct, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. All right, next.
Next speaker is Tony Pusosa, followed by Cindy Redburn.
Good evening, council members, county executive. My name's Tony Pozole. I live at 9700 Antigo Drive. And I am here to speak out against, again, this property licensing. I don't care what changes have been made. It still hurts the poor, and it still takes property rights away from landowners. I know many people that live around the country, and right now we're the laughingstock of the country. And legislation like this makes that image worse. I am asking the council members that voted no on this bill to have the courage to stand your ground and stand with the people. It's obvious that final passage of this bill will be a revenue-generating scheme for St. Louis County. The language makes it almost impossible not to be in some form of violation. If you cannot enforce the rules that we already have, how are you going to enforce this new ordinance? Where is the fiscal note attached to this? I know that was a discussion that we had a while back about fiscal notes, and I don't see anything indicating what this is going to cost St. Louis County taxpayers. A different approach would be, Councilman O'Meara, to form a committee to discuss these issues and come up with common ground, common sense solutions to the problems we have here in St. Louis County. And that committee or commission could consist of residents, tenants, landlords, problem properties officials, council members, and anyone else who wanted to participate. I think that would be the approach to take, because then you include the community in those decisions. If you're truly going to build a successful community, it must include everyone and not a select few. But again, like I said last week and weeks before, if this does pass, then I guess all we'll have to do is look at the ethics reports to see who benefits and how they benefit. Thank you.
Next speaker is Cindy Redburn, followed by Alan Lederbrand.
Good evening. I had a few minutes here to just glance through this bill that you just dropped on us this evening. And while I see that you've made an attempt to make some of this bill more palatable to some, a $1,000 fine is still excessive. It's still an excessive fine. Thank goodness that you had the sense to remove the per day out of it. I'm glad that you have changed it to the occupant who has been charged with a crime, because to punish those who live with this person was wrong on all counts. However, you know, as much as you're doing to try to make this better, I still consider this a very bad piece of legislation. You're not approaching the problem correctly. The problem can be solved by the ordinance that you already have on the books without penalizing homeowners and making homeowners more responsible than what they already are. They are things that they're responsible, and that would be violations of ordinances. I don't think we need to go any further to cause them to have to be keepers of their neighbors, of their renters, and so on and so forth. So I still oppose this just on a liberty issue. I do want to bring up a few things from the last meeting and a few people that I'd like to speak to. Councilman or Councilwoman Irby, I really appreciate who you are, and I really like who you are and what you do on a regular basis. You always try to do the right thing, and you take the interest of your constituents to heart, and I appreciate that. I don't see any hidden motivations or special interest that you're trying to push through. Councilman O'Leary, my councilman, I have to tell you, I absolutely love what you did last week when you had the courage to stand and say no to what was wrong. I really appreciate that. And you even mentioned that you hated going against your team members. And I understand that, and I appreciate it. But, you know, sometimes a person just has to do what's right, no matter what the consequences are. I know that pressure has been put on you. I don't know what you all worked out or how you came to this conclusion, but I'm asking you to stand firm on this bill, because it still is a bad bill with what even the changes that have been made. Stand firm, hold your ground, do what's right, and you'll never do what's wrong when you're doing what's right. I appreciate what you did do, and that's really all my comments. I ask you to consider that this is still a bad bill, and it is against many people's liberties. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alan Lederbrand, followed by Robin Hamlin.
County Councilor, could you, again, for the people who don't understand this bill, could you clarify the fine or the procedure, or what
The fine procedures?
Yes.
Well, the fine is levied only if there is no cure to the defects. That is, if there's no change in the condition that caused the revocation or suspension, except for that occasion when the owner has found to have made a material misrepresentation on his license application. And so the fines can be avoided by correcting the defects which cause the revocation or suspensions, and they're not automatic in any circumstance.
And the amount is?
The amount is up to.
Up to $1,000.
Yes.
It's not automatic $1,000 fine.
And that's consistent with the other penalty ranges in other ordinances of the county.
And other municipalities already have that in place.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My name is Alan Lederbrand. I live at 3918 Jacinto Drive in Lime. I appreciate the opportunity to speak. One of the things I want to bring up is I noticed that we still have a resolution for tonight on corporate welfare, and whereby you're going to take money away from students and firefighters. I think it's wrong. I don't think you should consider it. You need to Just remove it from the agenda altogether. It's not fair to our students who are always, schools are always looking for money. Second, this new substitute bill, number 3 for Bill 204, it would be nice that the public would get a little bit more advance notice than only about a minute or two to look this over. I even got a reply back from Mr. Dolan's office an hour ago, and they didn't even have it. I couldn't, because I was asking if there was going to be a new bill. It's not fair to the public to try to slip something through and vote on in the first vote this meeting and then have a final vote at next week without giving the public due time and consideration so we can look this over and be able to express our opinions on it. It's tough to read this. There's still a lot of problems in this bill. One is still there's no definite notification process on what constitutes actual 30-day notice. Is it by mail? Is it by certified mail? How is a person supposed to know the owner of the property that he's in violation? That's not spelled out. Still, I mean, what's the cost of this to the county? I can't believe that that St. Louis County can do this for free. It's got to cost. There's manpower, labor. It's going to have to be dedicated to this bill just to implement it. So why isn't that being discussed? I just think this is still a bad bill. I appreciate those who voted no last time, and I hope you'll do the same this time when it comes time for a final vote and say no. Thank you.
Next speaker is Robin Hamlin, followed by Brian Wirtz.
Hi, I'm Robin Hamlin. I live at 21 Nob Hill Drive in unincorporated North County. Mr. Dolan, you are an embarrassment. Nobody from North County came around and talked about this. This bill is bad. I am a landlord, but my properties are in Illinois. I'm currently looking at 2 properties in North County. This bill passes, not going to happen. This is a horrible bill. When you punish a landlord for something a tenant does that you have no control over, you are saying that you control that property, not that property owner. If this passes, how about we turned it on you and said, you must have a permit to be a homeowner? This is a very bad bill, and I appreciate the council members who voted against it, and I hope you continue to vote against it. This is not good for St. Louis County. This would make people leave our county. People would leave. Landlords would not rent to anybody. You would have more derelict properties. Tell me where it's been profitable anywhere else in the country, where it's been good for the county. Tell me one county where it's been good. It is not a good bill. This is written horribly, and people do not want it. Thank you.
Next speaker is Brian Wirtz, followed by Kalila Jackson.
Hi, Brian Wirtz, Bethalto, Illinois. I've got properties in North County. I've also got properties in Illinois. And I didn't come with prepared remarks because I didn't know how this was going, but your agenda says substitute bill number 1 for bill number 204. I don't know how you have a new bill come out right before the meeting, expect to vote on it tonight, unless you're trying to cram something down citizens' throats without reading it. Somebody made a couple weeks ago a comment about Obamacare. You had to pass it to read it. That's what you were doing here, and that's not right. So now I'm not going to criticize different points in the bill because I don't know what the new bill is, but what I wanted to do was point out something that's happened over in Illinois. So you're going after bad landlords. What we've done, what they did in one of the cities that I got properties in, was the landlord was actually getting the occupancy permit in their name and then taking that and flipping tenants continuously while that property went downhill and never getting an occupancy inspection. What they did to fix that was actually go and tie the occupancy permit to the water bill so that now the tenant had to get the water bill in their name so that then the city would know when that house was changing so that then they could do an occupancy inspection. That solved the problem of the landlords not being able, or basically just running the property into the ground and the city having a derelict property in its city confines. That's the kind of policy that I'd like to see instead of laws that are trying to put me in jail for the for the bad of a few. So if we could look at doing some policy changes, that would probably go a lot farther than trying to cram this bill down our throat. The other point that I wanted to make was, I don't understand what you're trying to do. I mean, the county is actually one of the biggest offenders here because of all the properties that are on the books that are in the tax sales that we're letting go to derelict. If we'd fix those up, either tax sale, however we can get those off of your guys' books and have the $20,000 to $40,000 on those properties that are just sitting there while they rot, and bring those back into the market and get those back into people living in them, that would go a long way for stabilizing these communities that everybody out here is trying to help stabilize. So unfortunately, the county is the biggest offender of this bill. That's where I struggle. So let's work together to try and solve some of these that are policy issues. And the prosecutor last week said that it gives the director unbridled free reign. That is a problem. A bill doesn't give you free reign to do whatever you want. Thank you.
Next speaker is Khalil Jackson, followed by Lisa Pinet.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Khalil Jackson. I'm the staff attorney for the Metropolitan St. Louis Equal Housing Opportunity Council. I stood before you all a few weeks ago when we were discussing substitute bill number 1. I echo the confusion of the people in the audience today. The agenda says that it is substitute bill number 1 that is up for final passage this evening. And so we came here very confused because I've been in talks with Mr. Crane, and we thought that the county council was moving in the right direction, the direction of community collaboration, the direction of transparency. And it seems now that there is some third bill perhaps that is now before the board for consideration that the community has not seen. So I also do not have remarks prepared to address the particular concerns that may be relevant for whichever bill we're talking about here, but I will go ahead and echo the concerns that we had with the previous bills. Concerns about whether or not the county is upholding its responsibilities under the Fair Housing Act, whether or not the county is upholding its responsibilities under the Constitution, whether or not the bill continues to have procedural due process issues, the lack of transparency for tenants, the lack of an opportunity for a pre-deprivation hearing. There's just a number of issues, and I am plainly, it's starting to feel a bit like Groundhog's Day here. We come up and we have the same conversation, and I will attempt to be brief, but I don't see how we can move forward in a meaningful way and have a real and honest dialogue if the bills are not even presented to the community for full and fair review. So I would ask that at a minimum that this bill is not passed, that we can again come before the council, work with the city councilor to take a look and see if there are ways that we can collaborate. I think that the previous bill, substitute bill number 2, there were some things that, some advances were made, some real concrete changes, and we applaud the councilor for those, but there were real significant issues that indicated that the council needed to go back to the drawing board maybe 1 or 2 more times. And if it's just a matter of reaching out to agencies like mine, listening to the community members here, we're here and we want to see that the county be advanced and move forward, and we don't want to see the county tied up in needless litigation for years and years. So with that, I'll cede the rest of my time. Thank you.
Next speaker is Lisa Pinet, followed by Jennifer Burd.
Hi, I'm Lisa Pinet. I live at 2915 3 Acres Lane. Maybe I should tell you where my office is, because now St. Louis County seems to be really interested in that. Anyway, as I stand here tonight, I'm also baffled because no one has spoken in favor of this, which is confusing to me, Mr. O'Mara. Where are all the people that were clamoring for this help that you were going to give them? And not one of them is here. And yet you went to the people of Glasgow Village and they said, we don't want this. When you went to them, they didn't come to you. And again, where are all your people that want this fabulous bill? I would have this to say. I looked at this bill. You guys made a couple changes, and at least now it's accurate to what you said the other day. Like if you had these crimes that you said that it was during the tenancy. It actually says that in here now. So the words are true, which they weren't last week. But I want to know from the counselor, and I'm so glad you're letting address everyone here, because I'm going to ask it again and again. What is your legal definition of renting and leasing? And does it involve the exchange of money? Silence. Why not? Why aren't you speaking?
You're speaking. It's your time, so.
Well, no. You've let him address everyone else.
I'll
This
ask
means
him-
that it does
I'll ask
not.
when you're done speaking.
Oh, no, I'll sit here for my 3 minutes until you let the counselor address the legal definition of renting. Does the legal definition mean there has to be an exchange of money?
County Councilor.
Thank you. As I mentioned last week, and I mentioned to you over the telephone when you telephoned me last week, one of the fundamental tenets of statutory interpretation is that you have to give words their ordinary and customary meaning. And if you look at the word rent as a noun, it means a payment by a tenant to a landlord in return for the use of property. As a verb, it is to grant possession and enjoyment of property in exchange for payment of rent. And when you look at the title of the bill as a residential rental property licensing code, you would give the normal and customary meaning of the word rental there. And if you go to the definitional phrases, you would use the normal and customary definitional phrases of rent and lease as it's in that.
Great, so you would need money. That's the official answer. You would need money to change hands.
We have that in the bill. It's in the bill.
I don't see it. I mean, if you would, can you state for me where it is in the bill? Because I must not be able to read.
All right, your 3 minutes is up. Thank you.
Next
I'll
speak-
let him finish. but-
Okay. So you go to the residential rental property definition, and it includes dwellings, right, offered for rent or lease. And so if you use those terms, rent or lease, that is the exchange of the use of property for, in exchange for money.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Jennifer Burd, followed by Mustafa Abdullah.
My name is Jennifer Burd. I'm at 9244 Laurel Hill. I first would like to thank council members Harder, Wassinger, O'Leary, excuse me, and Irby for your votes last week. Councilmember O'Leary, I'm sure you've taken a huge beating, proverbially speaking, of course, over your vote, but I am very happy that you had the courage to stand on your convictions and also give consideration to the numerous constituents who have expressed opposition to this bill. So I truly mean thank you, and I wanted to say that publicly. I do remain, however, opposed to any TIF money for the Afton Plaza because I think that it hurts the school district and the fire district. Moving on, oh my goodness, are we in a carnival? Is this whack-a-mole? I feel like we keep beating the same thing and it keeps popping up in different holes and then it's changing and, or I don't know, maybe it's that spinning wheel and the hole goes around and you gotta guess where the hole's gonna be till you get the dart through it. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be a prize for this game. I'd like to know who benefits here. Judging by our need to return tonight, maybe you feel like you've won, and tonight, maybe you have. You've waited out the people, and Lord knows you've certainly got the power to win tonight. You've likely used your power to bully and whip the vote flip that you need to perpetrate this scheme. And most certainly the people and those who've been here before and stayed home tonight expect you to wield that power, and that's a disappointing statement if you think about it. You've clearly demonstrated your willingness to blatantly do so that is, wield that power by calling this up again tonight. Either that or it's a temper tantrum. I don't understand. This is a mere week after the sub-bill was defeated. So if my words and those of countless others who've already opposed this, and never once hearing a single citizen vote in support for it, cannot convince you that we do not want or need this law passed, then you will win again tonight. And I hope that you'll enjoy demonstrating to the whole of the county that you, one, have, and two, will use the power against the will of the people. And then, if that's the case, I hope that you get to live under all the government you think that you want, like we do. At least you'll have accomplished the one good thing, which is to expose yourselves. Okay, while I'm on the subject of things you might ignore, well, let's change the meeting time to 7 o'clock to more readily match the constituents' availability. Let's always add fiscal notes to the bill so that we can budget and prioritize our costs and expenditures responsibly and sustainably. I guess there really isn't anything else that I can say except that this still doesn't address the problem of occupancy permit, which is probably where the problem begins. So, Mr. O'Leary, I truly hope that you'll stay strong. Thank you so much.
Next speaker is Mustafa Abdul, followed by Jim Heffernan.
Good evening, council members. My name is Mustafa Abdullah, and I live at 5901 Del Mar Boulevard in the city of St. Louis. And I am the program associate for the ACLU of Missouri. Like the other folks that are here this evening, I just got a copy of the new bill. I just wanted to highlight that at least in the previous version, it seems like it was taken out of this bill. We were very concerned about the public nuisance provision, just primarily because of the impact it would have on domestic violence victims as well as victims of firearms-related violence. And also particularly about the impact it might have on community police relations and trust between community and law enforcement. But I think the main issue that I want to lift up, that's been lifted up a couple of times already, is the ACLU is always very concerned about government transparency and government accountability. And I think it's concerning and it's unfair to constituents to just have a new version of the bill last minute. And so we're going to be, though, very closely monitoring the progress of this bill and look forward to working with you all if there's any sort of civil liberties concerns on this legislation. So thank you very much.
Next speaker is Jim Heffernan, followed by Jerry Happing.
Good evening. My name is Jim Heffernan. I'm with Silver Mines Properties. I live and reside in the 3rd District. I have numerous homes in the Glasgow Village area, which I rent, and this bill is very important to me. I have to tell you, I picked up this agenda when I walked in the door tonight, and I'm looking at this agenda, and bar my glasses, it says substitute bill number 1 for bill 204. I don't know anything about substitute bill number 3. This is off of your paperwork. I didn't get it off the website. How is it we're talking about substitute bill number 3 when it's not for us to look at? I understand, and I want to give special thanks to Councilman O'Leary and to Councilman Irby and to my own councilman and Mr. Harder for voting no for this. I'm not sitting here tonight telling you that I don't think we have issues with properties, because I know we do. I'm in the midst of them. And my property values are affected dramatically by these issues. So whether we want to believe it or not, we're really on the same side. I would love to find a way that we could get together and put together some thoughts on how we can perhaps fine-tune the current bills, or if we need a new bill to solve this issue without putting tenants at risk of the whole family being evicted, and without being in a situation where the landlord feels like he's being clobbered with a club. You know, a famous guy one time, Abraham Lincoln, said that government is for the people, of the people, by the people. And somewhere along the line, I get this vibe that we don't listen to that anymore. And I'm not sure that's really true. So you heard the whole crowd tonight, last week, the week before, the week before. I've been here 4 weeks in a row. Believe me, I got a family and kids. The last thing I want to do is be standing here tonight. I'm here tonight to make these points because they're important. They're not only important to me, they're important to you. We're on the same page. We just don't somehow be able to work it out where we understand that we are. Don't bring up a bill 2 minutes beforehand, say we're going to vote on this, whether we're going to approve it or not. How can I possibly make an analysis whether there's anything in that bill that's worthwhile? Your own agenda didn't get updated. It came out so fast. Give us a break. Let's work together. Can we make a committee that brings in landlords, that brings in property owners, that brings in tenants to come up with some of the solutions? I'm not sitting there saying we don't have problems. I'm just saying that the way we're trying to solve them is not correct. Thank you.
Next speaker is Jerry Hopping, followed by a beer Moton.
Just for a couple more clarifications here. Again, from the county councilor, nobody's evicting the entire family if something happened. I mean, I don't know where you come up with these things, but if you could clarify that, please.
There's no way from a landlord standpoint to evict one person on a property. It's just not possible. Not doable. You can't.
And also to clarify, this is a sub-bill that's being presented. If it were to go through, it would still be up next week. It's not final tonight, if it goes to that.
It's just adopted.
It's adopted, possibly would be adopted tonight.
Did you guys all get more than 2 minutes to read it? To make a decision?
Next.
My name is Jerry Hopping, live at 11 Lone Eagle Trail. I'm a property manager of 40, 50-some properties. I am also a trustee of Glasgow Village. It is extremely disheartening that a bill comes out that fast, and you can sit there and say, I was just going to substitute it. How the heck can council members sit there and get a bill to understand it, to say, yeah, that should be substituted for this bill? There's no way on God's green earth that you can sit there and do that. I was here 5 weeks ago when this started, and we didn't have a copy of that bill. And you were nice enough to table the situation until those bills were made available. I think you've got sunshine law issues, and obviously the will of the people. But to not even have bills available is a joke that reflects directly on you, Mr. Chairman, that you're not following the procedure, and it looks like you're trying to do something underhandedly and slam something through. For the will of the people, why don't you act what would be appropriate? And that would be to publish bills before they're due so that people can analyze them, so your own council people can analyze those. That is, it's, as far as Mr. Stinger to actually let that happen is unbelievable. For you not to be able to step in and say, you know what, my new administration was for openness, okay?
Sir,
you had heard the will of the people.
I don't sit on the council. I'm the county executive. This is the council. I don't sit on the council. So
you have influence,
they're their
sir.
own branch.
I understand that.
Well, if I did influence it, you would likely be saying that influence wasn't proper. So I don't influence it, because that's not proper. We have a separation of powers like most governments do. So I'm here at this meeting, and by charter, I am permitted to attend the meetings, but I don't sit on the council.
I understand. My time again. For you to understand separation, and that's a good thing in government, but I also understand that you have a set of time to speak at each council meeting. And you haven't been doing that for a number of months. So maybe now's the time on this situation to stand up and have a little leadership. I remember talking to you before the election and asking what was going to be different with your administration. What is going to stop you from falling into the same holes that all prior administrations fell into? And you assured me that you would do things differently. This is not different.
Right, but once again, I'm not sitting on the council, and the council has comported with all of our laws in the county and the state. Okay? So that's,
Do you really think this is right to put a bill out 2 minutes beforehand?
Sir,
to-
the bill
for
is
will
not
of the
out 2 minutes
No,
beforehand. The
it
bill is
is.
up for one thing tonight. It's adoption. And you're gonna have a
Mhm.
whole week to look at it, and if you wanna come back next week when it's up for final passage,
Sure.
you are
Yeah, maybe.
absolutely free to do that, and you'll have a whole week to examine the bill.
Thank you.
I'd like to talk, because we had it over time.
Well, that's
okay?
part of, you asked him
Thank
a
you.
question, he answered you.
No,
Time's up.
like the previous situation, you wanted her to give the time and then have his comments at the end. I would think fair is fair, sir. Give me another 30 seconds, and I'll finish up. Thank you. I'm a management business analyst at trade. For me to go into a business and tell them exactly what their problems are, before I actually sat down with the different heads of departments and explained and heard what their issues were, I'd been thrown out of the building. Mr. O'Meara, Hall of Fame soccer player. I've watched a number of soccer games, but for me to sit there and tell you how you should, line up and shoot a goal would be absolutely crazy on my part. Okay?
All right, thank
We're
you.
actually asking to be part of that process. Do what's right.
Next speaker is Abir Moton, followed by Joe Ord.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Abir Moton. I am homeless, and I'm representing all the homeless, and I represent Global Bridge to the Future Fusion for Life Foundation. I wanted to say, someone said earlier, if we all want to make a great and successful community, we must include everyone. That is so true. We can't have a government acting like the politician in South Carolina, like his name Benjamin Tillman. Look up his name and find out how famous he is. This is what our society has come to: hate, bullying, neglect, putting people under stress, pressure, let them worry, let them get sick. Do we want our community to get sick? No, we don't. Now, for the past week, actually several weeks, but the past week, people have been trying to set me up for entrapment. Police are chasing me down. People are taking John and I to certain congregations. We're trying to reach out help for this global foundation, and they had people, including the Illinois State Police, gas us out on the highway so that we can get sick. It affected John. The people tried to get me to eat their poison. They had put in poison for me to eat, and then John got affected by some of it. I didn't eat nothing from their food. First of all, I'm intelligent. I'm not going to eat pathetic leftover food coming from nursing homes or from some kind of chartered school or something, or some kind of hospital, and they're going to pretend that, oh, they cooked and they didn't. I know when I see good food what's good food. My problem is this: the Department of Health of St. Louis County, and maybe even St. Louis City, but St. Louis County I know, plus the Department of Human Services and Homeless Services of St. Louis County worked together during a COC meeting against me. They paid off under the table, they racketeered with a lady named Kimberly Beck, who's the head social service director of Salvation Army on Midland on Hampton Avenue, and she said her and her partner were trying to steal my paper so I wouldn't make a speech. I said, no, I'm going to say this speech before they get my paper. That's my paper. They try to start a fight with me like we're boys or little kids, saying that Israel is for Jews and the Palestinians should get out, and I should go looking for jobs flipping burgers. Now, I am a Muslim, and I'm a Sunnah Muslim, and I should be included in this community. It shouldn't be a community where they're all Benjamin Tillman's people. I want to be in the community. I don't want to be bullied. I don't want to be harassed. I don't want to be followed. I don't want to be set up. I don't want to be tainted. I don't want nobody. I would like good people to be around me. I don't want no one to smoke me out. They have idled. My car is filthy. If you look at my car, the other day I cleaned it. A spy was spying at me and John, and he called the police. He was working. He gave me partial of his middle finger. He didn't want me to give him a middle finger back, I guess. But anyway, he called the police for nothing. And then yesterday, the police followed us.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you. Can you please help stop this? Thank you very much. We appreciate respect. Thank you.
Next speaker is Joe Ord, followed by Teresa Douglas.
Good evening, my name is Joe Ord. I own most of the properties
I own 46 properties in unincorporated St. Louis County, and I manage several more. I hope you guys are feeling the discontentment in this crowd. And I'm just going to add a little more. I'm a 36-year-old divorcee. I have 2 daughters, an 8-year-old and a 4.5-year-old. And Tuesday is one of my nights. Yet I'm here every week because what you guys are trying to do is not healthy for the community on lots of levels. I thanked Councilman O'Leary last week for standing up and voting down a bad piece of legislation. Unfortunately, I have no notes to talk off today because we have a substitute Bill 3 that very few people have had an opportunity to look over. I don't even know that the council members really have had an opportunity to be able to look at it. I see a couple people shaking their heads. That's concerning that it would even come up for a vote to be for consideration without any views. At worst, I hope you guys hold it. At best, I hope you guys kill it like you did last week and send this back to committee. We're not saying there's not a problem. I'm going to echo all the other landlords. We want to help you, but we want to be part of this process. I have 36 properties in Glasgow Village. I know what's going on down there firsthand. I have a vested interest. I want to see my property values go up. This bill's not going to do it. It's just not. I want to be part of the solution. Mr. O'Meara, let us help you. I know you want to get something done. We're just asking for you to let us help you. Send us back to committee. Bring us in. I don't know what you're afraid of. We all want the same thing. We want our property values to go up. But we were looking for a real solution, not another layer of bureaucracy that is just going to add to our day-to-day frustrations and not help solve any of the problems. We all run businesses. We're for-profit organizations. We absolutely don't want another layer of bureaucracy. We want a solution. We're business owners. We make executive decisions day in, day out. Believe me, we can help you come up with a real solution if you'll just let us. Mr. O'Leary, I hope you stick to your guns and you let us take this back to committee and come up with a real solution. Thank you.
Next speaker is Teresa Douglas, followed by Kathy Armbrister.
Hello, my name is Teresa Douglas. I live at 8208 Weimar Drive in South County. I would first like to thank all of the council members who voted against Bill 204 last week. Mark Harder, Mr. O'Leary, Hazel Irby, and let's see, there's one more here, Karen Wassinger. Okay, but I want to thank you all for standing with the people and voting in favor of what the people want. And I know it's not easy to stand there. Sometimes you feel you're all alone. Sometimes you feel that you're getting a lot of pressure. But you know what? The people are with you. If you're with the people, we're with you. Now, having said that, the fact that we're here again, I can't tell you how many of these meetings I've been here. Last year, we had substitute number 1 for 73, and then we had substitute number 2 for 73. I think we had probably about 6 or 7 meetings last year, and now we're here again, and we're on our 3rd substitute bill for 204. I mean, it's been voted down last week. What are we doing here again? I mean, the fact that we're even here again, it tells the public that there must be a lot of money. Somebody's going to make a lot of money if this bill passes because you're so adamant on getting this passed when the people are so much against it. I mean, it really, if you pursue this, I mean, all I can say is there must be some corruption in the background because there's no other reason why you would continue to pursue this when the people are against it. Even the county council voted against it. Why would you bring it back again? So I ask you to turn down this bill. Actually, it should be withdrawn. The council has already voted on this. I mean, and the people have certainly spoken. I've probably heard between last year and this year, I've probably heard 300 different individuals say, we don't want this. So I'm asking you to just drop the bill, kill the bill, and when your counselor is making claims that, oh, well, it's only a $1,000 fine. Well, that's whitewashing it, because when you look at what's actually in Bill number 3, that's per day. Each incident is per day. So if you're in violation for a month, you're facing a $30,000 fine. That's ridiculous. And I'm not even going into the fact that it could be a year in the county jail for each infraction. I mean, these penalties are just astronomical, and they're way beyond what is a fair penalty for these things. So I thank you for your time, and please vote no on 204.
Next speaker is Kathy Armbrister, followed by Paul Berry.
My name is Kathy Armbrister. I live at 214 West Holden, Lima, Missouri. And I'm here again to actually thank the council people that did vote this bill down. And by voting it down, it should have been killed, buried, and gone. But now it's brought up again, and Mr. O'Meara is just so determined to go through it again. Now we have a surprise bill number 3, and I just want to say that I hope you vote again the same way you did on the bill, substitute bill last week. Vote no again, and either this bill is going to be number 1, or it's going to be sub-bill number 3. Whatever it is, I hope you vote no again. And to me, this is just a St. Louis County money scheme. And the way I see it, you already have the ordinances already on the books, and all you have to do is enforce the ordinances that you have now. And that was stated last week too. You already have ordinances. So what are you doing? You're double dipping. And this is supposed to be the land of the free, not the land of dictatorship. And this is, of all my dealings with the county, this is worse than the St. Louis County Trash District monopoly. So, and another thing on TIFs, I hope they don't go through. I hope you all vote them down, because a TIF is just taking the tax dollars away from the communities. You're hurting the schools, the fire departments, and all. So, but getting back to bill number 1, or sub number 3, vote no. We don't need it. Kill it. Bury it. Thank you.
Last speaker this evening is Paul Berry.
To this Honorable County Council, my name is Paul Berry III, resident of Bridgeton, Missouri. I am here as the previous citizens and stakeholders to testify in opposition to St. Louis County Bill 204. First, the proposed bill does not seek to implement such bill's government penalties related to a conviction of a state criminal offense, specifically the forced eviction and termination of a civil lease contract upon each resident of St. Louis County. No. The bill proposed excludes St. Louis County residents who are in university housing, and the rest of the language I'm going to speed along. Further, the bill provides exemption mechanisms to property owners and the families of such property owners residing within residential properties with less than 5 living units. My grandmother used to say, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Show me the difference between having 6 units and 5 units within this bill. Show me the difference between an apartment complex, which any law enforcement officer will tell you is the biggest struggle that we have in North County. So I don't agree with the principles based upon some issues I'm going to get into, but this makes no sense. And I've never seen legislation come before this council where there's not at least one advocate for it. We should all consider that. This isn't about partisan politics. This is one of the few bills that I see that there are opposition from both parties on this. If we're going to create a bill for St. Louis County, why don't we create a child molester bill or a rapist bill or a murderer bill? Because I'd love to get the child molester that got convicted and lives 3 blocks down away from my house. But the fact of the matter is we can't do it because of one thing, the United States Constitution. This isn't grandstanding here. This is an honest attempt to get the council to consider a few other things. Number one, when you do an eviction, where is your administrative review process within the bill? Because right now, what's going to happen is if I wanted to challenge it and I was a renter, I have to sue you in St. Louis County. You guys have to hire attorneys. It's going to be some pro se mumble jumble that we're going to spend dollars on because we don't have an administrative process to determine if the action of the county is correct. That's only been established usually with large businesses and on large scale deals. Anything that affects the basic public, the poor man, the layman, we create these procedures for that reason. Now, we talk about public safety. One thing I want you to consider is you think the Department of Corrections wants this bill, or my industry, the bail bondsman industry, or the fugitive recovery people for the police department? We need to know where these people are. We have an issue. We need to address it. I don't believe this is the right way. And with 10 seconds left, we have children. They're going to be evicted. Any proposition that you can split the baby, yes, any landlord, including myself in this room, and they'll tell you otherwise. I would like to ask Chairman Dolan to ask the county councilor one question, if I can make.
Your time's up. I could ask him a question. But
The simple question is regarding the Fair Housing Act. My concern with this bill is just like in City of St. Louis with Ban the Box, how jurisdictions are getting away from looking at criminal convictions to make hiring decisions. The basis of that is because when you have the minority population that's been arrested more, that there's redlining that can be involved. And I wanted to pose that to the council. And if you need me to rephrase, I will.
Well, if what you're asking is whether or not a potential tenant's past criminal conduct or history is taken into account, this bill doesn't address that at all.
Well, it says if he gets a conviction within 1 year.
If he gets a conviction while a tenant in the property of 6 enumerated felonies, that's not past criminal conduct relative to tenancy.
Real quick, is that in the criminal code anywhere as far as punishment for the state offense? Because I don't think you guys have the jurisdiction to do this. In fact, I'll save my time for federal court. Thank you.
that concludes the public forum. We move to introduction of bills.
Bill number 246, introduced by Councilmember Dolan, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to accept a grant of up to $250,000 from the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services, appropriating the same for support of Ebola preparedness and response activities, and authorizing execution of related documents. Bill number 247, introduced by Councilmember Dolan, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to accept a grant of up to $250,000 from the United States Department of Justice, appropriating the same for support of a collaborative mental health and criminal justice program, and authorizing the county executive to execute necessary documents. Bill number 248, introduced by Councilmember Dolan, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to accept a grant of up to $225,955.63 from the Missouri Department of Public Safety, appropriating the same for support of the multi-jurisdictional drug task force, and authorizing the county executive to execute necessary documents. Bill number 249, introduced by Councilmember Dolan, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to accept a grant of up to $152,222 from the United States Department of Justice, appropriating the same for support of forensic scientists and a DNA technician for the Police Department Crime Laboratory, authorizing the county executive to execute necessary documents. Bill number 250, introduced by Councilmember Erby, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute a contract with FSA LLC for consulting engineering services in connection with construction of the St. Louis County Community Connection Facility in Pagedale, St. Louis County Public Works, number 14-003-OC. Bill number 251, introduced by Councilmember O'Leary, an ordinance finding that certain parcels of land acquired by St. Louis County, Missouri as excess acquisition in conjunction with Baumgartner Road Project, AR-855, should be disposed of, authorizing and directing the purchasing agent to dispose of said tracts of land more particularly described herein to the highest and best bidder by open and public competition through the submission of sealed bids, and authorizing the county executive to execute related agreements. Bill number 252, introduced by Councilmember Dolan, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute a contract with McCarthy Holdings Incorporated and Rack Hill Quarries Company for a license for St. Louis County to use the property as a carriage ride staging area during the 2015 Winter Wonderland event. Bill number 253, introduced by Councilmember Dolan, an ordinance amending Title VI, Chapter 616, St. Louis County Revised Ordinances 1974 as amended by enacting and adding one new section relating to contracts for health and well-being services at Department of Parks and Recreation Facilities. Bill number 254, introduced by Councilmember O'Leary, an ordinance amending Title 12 St. Louis County Revised Ordinances 1974 as amended traffic code by enacting and adding one new provision to Schedule 6. Mr. Chair, that is all the bills.
Thank you. Perfection bill.
Bill number 8, introduced by Councilmember O'Meara.
Hold, please.
Bill number 8 is held.
Bill number 235, introduced by Councilmember Dolan.
I move to perfect bill number 235.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 235 is perfected.
Bill number 236, introduced by Councilmember Dolan.
I move to perfect bill number 236.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 236 is perfected.
Bill number 237, introduced by Councilmember Dolan.
I move to perfect bill number 237.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 237 is perfected.
Bill number 238, introduced by Councilmember Erby.
I move to perfect Bill number 238.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 238 is perfected.
Bill number 239, introduced by Councilmember O'Meara.
Take it up, move for perfection of bill number 239. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 239 is perfected.
Bill number 240, introduced by Councilmember Dolan.
I move to perfect bill number 240.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 240 is perfected.
Bill number 241, introduced by Councilmember Dolan.
I move to perfect bill number 241.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 241 is perfected.
Bill number 242, introduced by Councilmember Dolan.
I move to perfect bill number 242.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 242 is perfected.
Bill number 243, introduced by Councilmember O'Leary.
I move to perfect Bill number 243.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 243 is perfected.
Bill number 244, introduced by Councilmember O'Leary.
I move to perfect Bill number 244.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 244 is perfected.
Bill number 245, introduced by Councilmember Wassinger.
I move to perfect Bill number 245.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 245 is perfected. Final passage of bills.
Bill number 52, introduced by Councilmember Dolan.
That one.
Please hold.
Bill number 116, introduced by Councilmember Dolan.
Please hold.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 204, introduced by Councilmember O'Meara. Mr. Chair, we have a substitute bill.
Please read.
Substitute Bill number 3 for Bill number 204, introduced by Councilmember O'Meara. An ordinance amending Title 8 St. Louis County Revised Ordinances 1974 as amended, occupations, businesses, and licensing by enacting and adding a new chapter to be known as Chapter 825 Residential Rental Property Licensing Code.
Move for adoption of sub-bill number 3 for bill number 204.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
No.
The ayes have it. Bill number, substitute bill number 3 for bill 204 is adopted.
Bill number 232, introduced by Councilmember Wassinger. I'm sorry, couldn't you do a roll call, Pat? Chair, sir,
Pardon me?
couldn't do a roll call on that one?
We can, sure. I'll call for a roll on substitute bill 3 for bill 204. Roll call.
Councilmember Erby? No. Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger?
No.
Councilmember O'Meara?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember O'Leary?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
No.
Mr. Chair, on the motion to adopt substitute bill number 3 for bill number 204, there are 4 ayes and 3 noes.
Thank you. Bill number 232.
Bill number 232, introduced by Councilmember Wassinger.
I move for final passage of bill number 232.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Erby? Aye. Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger?
Aye.
Councilmember O'Meara?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember O'Leary?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on bill number 232, there are 7 ayes.
Number 232 is finally passed.
Bill number 233, introduced by Councilmember O'Leary.
I move for final passage of bill number 233.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Erby? Aye. Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger?
Aye.
Councilmember O'Meara?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember O'Leary?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on bill number 233, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 233 is finally passed.
Bill number 234, introduced by Councilmember O'Leary.
I move for final passage of bill number 234.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Erby? Aye. Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger?
Aye.
Councilmember O'Meara?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember O'Leary?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on bill number 234, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 234 is finally passed.
Moving on to resolutions, Mr. Chair, we have 13 this evening. Resolution number 1, introduced by Councilmember O'Leary.
I move to adopt resolutions 1 through 8 and resolution 13.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Erby? Aye. Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger?
Aye.
Councilmember O'Meara?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember O'Leary?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on resolutions 1 through 8 and resolution 13, there are 7 ayes.
Resolutions 1 through 8 and 13 are adopted.
Resolution number 9, introduced by Councilmember Erby.
I move for adoption of resolution number 9.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Erby? Aye. Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger?
Aye.
Councilmember O'Meara?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember O'Leary?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on resolution number 9, there are 7 ayes.
Resolution number 9 is adopted.
Resolution number 10, introduced by Councilmembers Dolan and O'Meara.
I move for adoption of resolutions 10 and 11.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Erby? Aye. Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger?
Aye.
Councilmember O'Meara?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember O'Leary?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on resolutions 10 and 11, there are 7 ayes.
Resolutions 10 and 11 are adopted. Those resolutions were honoring two St. Louis County residents who played on the United States World Cup women's soccer team.
Resolution number 12, introduced by Councilmembers Wassinger and Erby.
I move to adopt resolution number 12.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger?
Aye.
Councilmember O'Meara?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember O'Leary?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on resolution number 12, there are 7 ayes.
Resolution number 12 is adopted.
Moving on to unfinished business, Mr. Chair. Item number 1, 6th District.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
And Mr. Chair, moving on to new business, we have 6 prepared orders this evening.
Move for adoptions orders 1 through 6.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Orders 1 through 6 are adopted.
I move we adjourn.
Favor?
Aye.
Adjourned.